I'd now like to introduce Dr. Andrew Heap. Andrew is the Chief of Minerals, Energy and Groundwater Division at Geoscience Australia. Andrew holds a PhD from James Cook University. Andrew has 20 years of professional experience in leading pre-competitive geoscience research within the Australian government. Andrew has responsibility for building a national prospectus of minerals, energy and groundwater resources across Australia through regional geological framework studies and delivery of pre-competitive scientific data and information to stimulate new exploration investment in frontier areas.
Thank you, Marina. Our partnership with the US and Canada in the Critical Minerals Mapping Initiative is integral to achieving the Australian Government's objective of maximising critical mineral opportunities. Australia is one of the world's great mining nations, so it is not surprising that our resources sector is the cornerstone of the Australian economy. The industry represents around 10% of Australia's GDP, half of our exports, and directly employs 250,000 people. This graph shows Australia's contribution to world supply for a range of minerals important for our economic and social prosperity. The red bars show that many are also critical minerals, which will become increasingly important as the structural changes taking place across the world, including in the energy, transport and manufacturing sectors, gain pace. Australian minerals central to developing new technologies. Minerals such as lithium, nickel and copper, rare earths and tantalum, for example, will grow in importance as global and Australian manufacturers source reliable and responsible supplies of raw materials. To maintain the benefits of a strong resources sector and to continue supplying partner countries with the minerals needed for the energy transition and accelerating development of modern technologies and manufacturing, a key challenge for Australia today is identifying areas for new discoveries and developing better and cleaner ore processing technologies. In recognition of this, the Australian Government released in 2019 the National Resources Statement that provides a framework for the future development of Australia's mineral resources sector. The statement underpins a suite of government policies, including Australia's critical minerals and hydrogen strategies, and the Resources, Technology and Critical Minerals Processing Initiative. The discovery and investment framework that these documents are part of will support the Australian efforts to provide the resources of the future, modernise manufacturing, lower emissions, develop new technologies and discover new sources of critical minerals. Discovering new sources of critical minerals, indeed all minerals, as well as energy commodities like oil, gas and hydrogen, is a major objective for my organisation. Geoscience Australia's Strategy 2028 specifically identifies building Australia's resources wealth as one of the 6 priority impact areas for what we do. We have responded by challenging ourselves to stimulate exploration investment, including critical minerals, and open up new producing provinces worth more than 100 billion Australian dollars. We are doing this by providing industry, government and other stakeholders with high quality, publicly available geoscience data and information. Currently, the Australian Government's key investment into pre-competitive geoscience is through the $225 million Exploring for the Future program, which is targeted at minerals, energy and groundwater resources. Geoscience Australia's researchers who are working in this program have also been the key contributors to the Critical Minerals Mapping Initiative. Between 2016 and 2020, the program focused on Northern Australia and in particular on the region between Tennant Creek and Mount Isa. In 2020, the program was expanded and extended to all of Australia with a key focus on Southern Australia and 3 regions. We undertake all of this work in collaboration with our state and territory partners. The Exploring for the Future program has had tangible impacts for the resources sector in Australia. The first phase of the Exploring for the Future program had a focus on the underexplored region between Tennant Creek and Mount Isa in Northern Australia. This map shows the distribution of new tenements acquired or reinvigorated by the industry for both mineral and hydrocarbon exploration as a result of the work we undertook in the program. To date, over 25 countries have picked up ground as a result of the pre-competitive data and information we provided through the Exploring for the Future program. The tenements cover a total area greater than 155,000 square kilometres, which is an area the size of the US state of Georgia. The pre-competitive geoscience data and information we produce is publicly released with the intention of lowering exploration risks and highlighting new exploration opportunities. It is being delivered through a dedicated online website or the Exploring for the Future data discovery portal. The portal not only provides data sets but also decision support tools, such as the Mineral Potential Mapper, which produces heat maps identifying regions with potential for the discovery of nickel, copper, and platinum group elements in mafic rocks. The movie playing is an example of how the Mineral Potential Mapper works, highlighting in red regions with potential to host new mineral deposits, and in blue, riskier exploration options. It harvests information from Geoscience Australia's extensive data holdings, as well as those of our research partners in the states and territories. When the team first presented the results of this work to explorers at an industry workshop, they were questioned by the audience about the potential area of high prospectivity to the northeast of the capital of Western Australia, Perth, with industry saying the area was bound to have been sufficiently explored given its proximity to the city. It turns out that this was not the case, despite Perth being the capital of the 1970s nickel boom. One explorer, Chalice Gold, took this information away, and a few years later pegged the ground and their first drill hole struck massive sulphide deposits. The discovery is known as Julimar and is one of the most significant discoveries in Australia in the last decade. Chalice has publicly acknowledged that they used the Mineral Potential Mapper to identify the area for exploration. Yet this is some way from positioning a drill hole, so I want to commend Chalice on their exploration proficiency. They plan to announce a maiden resource later this year, and there is growing speculation it will be one of the top 10 of its class in the world. Continuing to build on this case study, Geoscience Australia commissioned an independent return on investment assessment of the Julimar discovery. This included auditing Geoscience Australia's expenditure on the Mineral Potential Mapper and modelling two success studies, which assumed a 10 million tonne and 50 million tonne discovery, and a conservative set of assumptions based on prevailing market figures and industry norms. They found for every dollar invested by the Australian government, the return on investment to the economy was between $160 and $525, and included between $50 and $150 of revenue for the federal government. The Julimar discovery has now sparked a new wave of mineral exploration activity across the southwest minerals province of Western Australia. The most recent map of new or reinvigorated tenements shows that to date, 18 companies are actively exploring over 15,000 square kilometres in the region for Julimar-type targets. To diversify global critical mineral supply chains, the Critical Minerals Mapping Initiative is building on Geoscience Australia's mineral potential mapping approach and refining it. It is a three-way flow of expertise between our three countries. The three items being presented from the Critical Minerals Mapping Initiative today, shown on the left, feed into three research themes in our Exploring for the Future program, shown on the right. First, the standardisation of ore deposit classifications helps us refine the way we test our models and therefore improves the predictive power of our models. Equipped with an improved understanding of global deposit types and how they are distributed with respect to various data sets, will help us immensely to identify new opportunities in Australia. Second, the International Critical Minerals and Ores dataset will grow our understanding of critical mineral associations with major deposits. In turn, this allows us to infer the suite of critical minerals that may be present in unsampled ore deposits in Australia, as well as identify opportunities in mine wastes. Importantly, this new dataset will help identify these opportunities quickly so that industry can follow them up with targeting and sampling campaigns effectively and efficiently. And third, our focus on improving the successful Mineral Potential Mapper and applying it to other mineral systems will allow us to more rapidly understand our critical mineral potential across our three countries. In conclusion, if I can leave you with one key message, it is this: that the Australian Government is fully behind the sustainable and responsible development of Australia's critical mineral sector. And together with our Canadian and US partners, we recognise the importance of working collaboratively to develop and secure critical minerals from diverse global supply chains for both our present and future needs. The Critical Minerals Mapping Initiative is making tangible progress towards achieving this aim, and I congratulate the researchers on the achievement of the International Critical Minerals Mapping Initiative portal being launched today. Thank you for your attention, and I'll now hand back to Marina Costello, who will introduce the speakers of the technical program.